Man, oh man. I wasn't even gonna make a video today until tomorrow talking about my Jets in Alabama, but we gotta start a dialogue and we gotta talk about these Clippers, bro. Now I was halfway tuned in through the first half. I'm like, Clippers down to the Grizzlies, the worst team in the league. No John Morant. They without Steven Adams. Their best player right now is Desmond Bain. And you got Marcus Smart out here trying to lead them, and they're down. So I started tuning in second half. Okay, what's going on? Then I start seeing they showing on the bench. Kawhi Leonard looked frustrated, just walking back and forth. Like, I don't know if he's mad at Tyler. I don't know if he's mad at James Harden or what. Maybe mad at the whole organization, but Kawhi, something is off with Kawhi. I don't know what it is. Now, they had a chance to win the game, and if it wasn't for Paul George and Norman Powell, the Clippers would not have been in the game. And also Russell Westbrook. I don't care what the stats say about Russell Westbrook. Yep, I'm a Lakers fan. Well, LeBron fan. I'm a Lakers fan right now, but I can be the biggest dialogue. I mean, the biggest dialogue. I can start the biggest dialogue to my house. Westbrook ain't doing nothing. Look at the stats. Look at everything. Russell Westbrook was impactful no matter what the stats say. His hustle, going for rebounds was there. He even forced Bismack Biyombo into some wild fouls. But if it wasn't Paul George and the ball being in Paul George's hand, then Norman Powell just making every three-pointer, every shot he could make in the fourth quarter, except for a few at the end. He even made some defensive plays. Paul George leading the way, handling the ball, distributor. Now, that best lineup, I think that was Paul George, Norman Powell, Westbrook. I forgot who else was out there. Terrence Mann, and I can't remember who else was out there. But they got in that fourth quarter. They started balling. They brought back in James Harden, which I don't know why, but he came in, he hit a big three. I'm like, okay. But for some reason, I know Desmond Bain is a really good scorer, but I mean, he was really their only threat you could think about in the fourth quarter. Marcus Smart was out there, made a few plays, even though he was flopping. Jaren Jackson is out. When Jaren Jackson doesn't have nowhere to go, he just started forcing stuff and hoping to get fouled. And then he started failing, flopping, just like Marcus Smart. But, I mean, he made some plays, but then Kawhi came back in the game. It's like, except for, I mean, they was decent throughout the beginning of the season, but Paul George has really been a closer for the Clippers, and Norman Powell been coming in, contributing in the fourth quarter. But if you think about it from a few outlier games, Kawhi Leonard really hasn't been the same in the fourth quarter. Just like today, he just looks, I don't know, he just looks a little slow, looks a little out of it. I'm not saying something wrong with him just because he came back from injury, but I don't know if he's frustrated or what. He just looks out of it. And by the way, he going on my no bet list. I chose it for 20 points, but that's a different time for a different day. He got 14, didn't score a single point in the fourth quarter, which, I mean, I would have had the ball on Paul George and Norman Powell's hand the whole time anyway, but I ain't the coach. Tyloo, you my boy, led my boy LeBron to a ring. We wanted you on the Lakers, but what are you doing over there? I get the front office just hold you, bro, but I thought seeing Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham, what they used to do with 3-guard lineups, this dude put 4-guard lineups in the game. And with P.J. Tucker at center. And I see why the Sixers traded P.J. Tucker. I know he brings the toughness and everything, but, bro, he ain't the same. Clippers fans have found that out real fast. Sixers fans have found that out. He's not the same. But he really hasn't had as big of an impact since he left the Bucks. Even, I'm not gonna say even then he wasn't impactful, but he was impactful. But what else you gotta say about the Clippers? Trading for James Harden just took away all their depth. Now y'all get to my Nicholas Batum ain't this. Nicholas Batum was a key contributor last year. He was a great 3-and-D player. He knew his role. And the only one Clipper fans can agree with me on this is Marcus Morris. They hated him half the league. But the team, except for if your team, if they was playing against your team that night, you love Marcus Morris. I don't know what happened to him. He used to be a consistent corner 3 ball. He used to be a decent defender. Now they were just attacking him. He wasn't making shots. He was forcing shots like he was an all-star player, like he was back, like he was on that first half. What was that? Probably about, how long it's been? I think it's been 3 years now when he was forcing shots on the Knicks, and he was on the Knicks though. That's when the Knicks didn't have nobody, and he was like a superstar, which is kind of wild to say. But I mean, even his first few years with the Clippers, he was decent. But the Clippers, man, can't say I'm mad. But James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Kawhi are losing games. I'm not mad at it, but they got to let Paul George handle the ball more, which is kind of hard to do when you got Westbrook and James Harden, because both of them going to want the ball. Westbrook can still impact the game. I don't care what y'all say. He can still impact the game off the ball with his rebounding, hustle plays. Sometimes when he plays defense, he can play defense when he's locked in. But when he ain't playing defense, you can't have him and James Harden on the court, because they will have some lazy moments in the game, throughout the game. They'll have probably like at least 5 or 6 plays where they're just lazy on defense, just standing there. You can't have both of them in the game all the time at the same time. Especially, you need to stagger the minutes. Like Paul George and Westbrook have amazing chemistry. They need to play with each other. Like, okay, when both of them come out at the 6-minute mark, you run Kawhi, James Harden together. Like, you gotta stagger their minutes. Like, you can't keep having them together, because it's hard to close the game with both of them. Like Ty Lue tonight, which I don't understand. Westbrook, Paul George, and Norman Powell going off. You know what he does? They get back in. I think they was either up by 1 or down by 1. He takes Russell Westbrook out, put him in for James Harden. Now James Harden came back and made it a clutch 3, but after that, I really didn't see no big of a difference. The offense kind of got stagnant because they started to try to force the ball to Kawhi after Paul George missed a couple of shots. But Paul George was distributing and making shots. So was Norman Powell. And then James Harden in the clutch, which was poetic. He airballed a 3 in the corner, but after he just made the clutch 3 like a minute ago. But the Clippers, 0-5 since the James Harden trade, 0-4 with James Harden in the lineup. Then sometimes you just see Zubac. Zubac just, I love Zubac. Loved him on the Lakers when he was, before Magic Johnson randomly traded him away. But sometimes Zubac acts like he doesn't know basketball. Doesn't look like he's a basketball player sometimes, which I don't get. Westbrook and James Harden can be lazy on defense. Kawhi just looks out of it at times. Paul George was in a funk until tonight, which they need to start letting Paul George handle the ball more. Paul George has been that guy for them, has been that guy for a long time. Okay, we can call him a way out P all you want, but Paul George, I mean, they both been injured, but Paul George kind of been the most consistent, if you want to say. I don't want to say that word because sometimes he ain't consistent, but he's been kind of the most consistent player on the team, even though they both always hurt, but he's more consistent than Kawhi, which is kind of weird to say, but Kawhi Leonard got to get together. Ty Lue got to get together. The whole Clippers team got to get together. But, hey, I ain't worried. I don't care. I just want to see them keep losing. But, nah, it would be kind of bad if they all don't make the playoffs. I want to at least see them in the play-in. They got to get together. Because what's the fun of it if they trade for all this and we don't even get to see a Paul George or James Harden meltdown in the playoffs and a Russell Westbrook meltdown? People want to see that. I want to see James Harden meltdown in the playoffs. I kind of want to see Paul George and Russell Westbrook redeem themselves from their past playoffs, even though Paul George did that a few years ago, leading them to the Western Conference Finals without Kawhi. But they got to get it together. Just for us basketball fans in perspective, we got to see them get it together. Because we want to see them in the playoffs. We want to see the Suns in the playoffs. We want to see the Lakers in the playoffs. You want to see the Mavericks in the playoffs. And we're going to talk about them Mavericks. Boy, that boy Tim Hardaway, that boy Luka, and Lively. That's what we're going to talk about sometime next week. But I'm going to give y'all a recap of my Jets tonight. I don't know why they keep putting us on national TV. Prime time. My defense gonna be fighting for their lives again. At least we kind of got a home game because we in Las Vegas, if you know what I mean. But Clippers. Well, let's hope the Lakers can get that W tonight without LeBron James. If we can't beat the Blazers without LeBron James, and they're missing like Scoot Henderson and a couple other players, of course, my boy Rob from the 318. I pray he get a speedy recovery. These injuries keep derailing him, and it's the other knee this time. So I just hope that man can stay healthy. But yeah, it's been your boy Lil Tim. Hope y'all have a blessed night. I hope the Lakers win. I hope my Jets win. I'm just glad to see the Clippers downfall. And Steve Ballmer, good trade, my brother. Y'all better get it together and free my boy Ty Lue and free Kawhi Leonard. Y'all have a good one.